Wow, thank you guys. Standing ovation. I haven't even said anything yet. It's fantastic. It's an honor to be here. My name is Justin Zarate. I'm the executive director and founder of These Numbers Have Faces, and we are an international education nonprofit. We empower young people around the world to become leaders, to reduce poverty, and to change their countries from the inside out. We're so thrilled and honored by our partnership with Seacret. A huge thank you, of course, to my dear friends Jesse and Patricia McPherson, to Isaac as well for making this whole thing happen, and the entire Seacret team. Thank you, thank you, thank you. My plan for the next 20 minutes or so, I'm going to share my story, a bit about the work that we do. I'm going to show a quick video to keep things exciting, and then also make some unique connections between running a nonprofit and doing network marketing that I think many of you will find really, really helpful. I grew up here in California. I've braved the LA traffic more times than I care to count. I went to college in Santa Barbara. For those of you who know the area, it truly is the promised land, right? But after graduating, I was really convicted to just kind of break out of Southern California. And I moved to Michigan for a while. I moved to Belfast, Northern Ireland, and then on to Cape Town, South Africa. And it was in South Africa where my life was changed forever. I was working in one of the poorest areas of Cape Town called the Cape Flats. And the Cape Flats are extremely dangerous. High poverty, high crime rates, entire families living in shacks made out of tin and plastic. The poverty was just devastating. I was staying in a hotel for a few weeks, and I would go back and just feel terrible about myself. Sleeping in a huge bed, big TV, room service. I'm calling up for nachos, you know. And I just felt bad, right? But I had no idea what on earth I would actually do with that, of course. Then something really unique happened. I met a number of amazing high school students, juniors and seniors in high school. And I'm meeting all of these amazing young people, and I noticed something really, really unique. I noticed that they were all extremely bright, getting great grades in school, and so I would ask them, what are you doing next year? And they'd say, nothing. I'm sitting at home. I met one young man named Olani. Olani and I became friends. By the way, in South Africa, in certain parts, if your name has an X or a C or a K or a Q in it, you pronounce it with a click sound. There you go, right? And there's actually 15 different clicks. So I'm hanging out with Olani, and I come to find out that he's about to graduate in the top 5 of his high school class. And he confessed to me that he worked so hard to get there, but he has no plans for next year. And he was sad about this. I said, well, dude, what do you want to be doing? And he said, well, I'm really good at math, and I want to go to college and study accounting. But my family's poor. Both of my parents are unemployed. We have no means to make this happen. I said, how much does it cost? He said, it's about $2,000 a year for me to go to college in South Africa. So I'm intrigued by this. I have no idea what it all means, of course. I leave South Africa. I move up to Portland, Oregon. And truthfully, at that time, I was trying to sort of push out this whole international experience out of my mind. I'd been traveling for a long time. I was ready to settle down. I was actually going to be getting married soon. But I could not stop thinking about Olani and these high school kids that I had met who wanted to go to college. So one day, I'm sitting on a bench in downtown Portland. I'm texting with my friends from South Africa. And suddenly, bam, I get it. I have this revelation, this spiritual moment even. And I realize at that moment that I can no longer deny for others what I demanded for myself. I can no longer take opportunities for me and not allow other people to have the same opportunities. And it wasn't a feeling of guilt like I felt when I was in that hotel room. It was a feeling of responsibility. It was a sense of clarity of my role in the world. So I knew I had to do something. So I walked to a bookstore and I bought a book, how to start and build a nonprofit organization. And from the couch of my apartment, I started These Numbers Have Faces. So what do? We provide college scholarships for young people who would never have a chance to go to college. These are the kids who live in poverty but are extremely intelligent. But what's so cool about our work is that the scholarship isn't free. It's not a handout. Because in return for their scholarship, our students do community service work, they do mentoring, they do leadership development, they do financial literacy training where they learn how to manage their money and save for the future. And then all of our students have committed to giving 1 year's tuition back into the program for a new student to go to college behind them. And this is the difference between aid and social development. Aid is something that is given out for free. But a program like ours actually costs something. And that's why it's been so effective. So back in 2008, I fundraised a few $1,000s with my friends and family to send Kulani to college. And I thought that that'd be kind of the end of it, right? But people started to pay attention, both in America and in South Africa. We went from 1 student to 3 to 5 to 10 to 16 to 20 to now, every week I get a phone call from someone around the world who says, "Can you please bring your program to my country? We need this here. It's so focused, it's so holistic, it's actually developing leaders. Please, can you come here?" So starting this year, 2012, we're going to be expanding. I'm actually heading to Rwanda in 3 weeks to kick off the program there. We have plans for Cambodia, El Salvador, Guatemala, Thailand, and others. Thank you. And our goal at These Numbers Have Faces is to educate young people around the world, empower them to reduce poverty, and then to reinvest their knowledge, skills, and finances back into their own communities to change their countries forever. People ask a lot, where does the name come from? It's a little bit unconventional. These Numbers Have Faces. So when I was starting it on my couch, of course, I was doing all of this research. How do you do something in Africa? And then how do you do it so that it actually helps people and doesn't hurt them, right? And all that I kept seeing were these horrible statistics coming out of Africa. Like 10,000 people will die today because they don't have access to clean drinking water. All right? That's terrible, right? But honestly, I'm numbed by that. What does that mean? Right? But I knew that my friends in South Africa were not numbers. They were not statistics or pie graphs or color-coded charts or Excel spreadsheets. These numbers have faces. I wrote it down in a book once, randomly, and the name stuck. I want to show a quick 3-minute video here. This is about a young woman in our program named Aluto. She's a second-year law student. The thing to note here is you can see the hope that this young woman and her mom have for her future. And also, it's amazing when you understand that if it wasn't for These Numbers Have Faces, she'd be sitting at home right now instead of studying to become a lawyer. So let's check that out.
My name is Aluto Mutati. I'm turning 19 this year in September. I live here in Manenberg with my parents and my 2 brothers. I'm studying law at UWC, and this is my first year. We are at UWC, and this is the law building. This is where I take most of my courses. I get legal systems, introduction to legal studies, and law of persons in here. One day it was raining and I had to rush to an exam, I was walking down the stairs and I almost fell. Luckily I didn't, and there weren't a lot of people who saw that, so yeah, that's cool. When I get my degree, I'd like to be an attorney. Probably work for the state, because I saw something that's a possibility. And there are aids where you can like defend the expression of people. I'll be interested in doing that. These numbers of faces has given me hope, because the belief that you guys have in me, I mean, you keep me motivated. Yeah, I don't have a lot of things to worry about. I can focus on my work, and you give me support, and yeah.
It's wonderful to meet you.
Okay. I thank you very much, guys, because you take us in another level now. You take us in another level. I thank you very much. With you, I promise you, Alut is going to go far, and it is because of you guys. I thank you very much.
That's great. Did you have the, if it wasn't for these numbers of faces, would you have been able to have her go to PwC?
No. She was going to be here. We have no ways to take her to another level. We have no ways. I can say to you guys again, thank you very much for this opportunity that you gave Aluta. Thank you very much, and you will never regret what you did. I promise you. We will guide her, we will help her in every way.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks. So, as you can see with Aluto, education is power, especially when it's combined with service, leadership, and community reinvestment. Now, in this country, you don't necessarily need a college degree to make it in America. I've been hearing that this entire day today. And it's true. It's straight up true. Now, it used to be like that, okay? But not so much anymore. And that's really a testament to our entrepreneurial spirit as Americans, right? It's one of those things that actually makes this country probably the most unique country on the planet. Now, in developing countries, though, where there aren't some of the same basic resources, structures, opportunities for business, education is crucial. And in Africa especially, the higher level of education that you have, the more likely you are to find a good job, to make more money, to have a smaller and healthier family. And in South Africa especially, you are far less likely to contract HIV/AIDS, which is so important because it is the country with the highest HIV/AIDS infection rates in the world. So I need to stop talking a bit about my work and connect this more to yours. Honestly, the work that you are all doing here with Seacret is extremely valuable. And because it's valuable, there will be resistance. The work that I do is valuable. And sometimes the resistance and the fear and the anxiety of going out on your own is too much to bear. I use the word resistance because I believe that resistance is an actual force that is hell-bent on destroying people like you and I. I've taken this from a brilliant book by a writer named Stephen Pressfield called The War of Art. Not to be confused with the art of war, by the way. Okay? The War of Art is one of the reasons that I've had the courage and the audacity to start something on the couch of my apartment 5 years ago that is now changing lives around the world, including mine. Resistance loves people who go out on their own. It feeds on network marketers, entrepreneurs, people trying to do something noble, the optimists who work against the grain. Essentially everyone in this room, right? Resistance cannot be seen, touched, heard, or smelled, but it can be felt. It's a repelling force whose aim is to distract us and prevent us from doing our work. The most common manifestation of resistance is basic procrastination, right? Resistance says, don't tell another person about Seacret. Don't tell another person about South Africa. They're tired of it. Get on Facebook. That's where it's at. The game's on. Put your feet up. You need some time for you. Resistance will tell you anything to keep you from doing your work. It will fabricate, falsify, seduce, and bully. It will assume any form to get you to put your work off until tomorrow. It will reason with you like a lawyer or put a 9mm in your face like a bank robber. Resistance has no conscience. It will pledge anything to get a deal and then double-cross you as soon as your back is turned. Have you guys felt this before? You know what I'm talking about. The resistance, right? So how do you beat it? Because if you can beat resistance, you will succeed in your job at Seacret, and you will succeed in every job you will ever do until the day you die. To defeat resistance, you have to turn pro. You have to turn pro. There's a famous author named William Mohm, and someone once asked him if he writes on a schedule or only when he's struck by inspiration. He said, I write whenever inspiration strikes. Fortunately, it strikes every morning at 9 o'clock sharp. That's pro. The amateur plays for fun. The professional plays for keeps. The amateur is a weekend warrior. The professional hits the pavement 7 days a week. Resistance hates it when you turn pro. Now, resistance never goes away, ever. But I want to share 3 things that have helped me turn pro and defeat resistance in my work at very critical times. Number 1, you have to show up every day. Your job, my job, different work, sure. Same ethic. You have to show up every damn day. Number 2, don't over-identify with your work. You can take pride in it. You can work the weekends. You can stay late. But you must also recognize that you are not your job description. The amateur over-identifies with his work, and resistance loves this. Resistance knows that the amateur secret agent will never reach her goals because she's over-invested in her success and over-terrified of failure. The amateur takes her work so seriously that it paralyzes her. Number 3, we must learn to live and work in the midst of fear. I hate it when I'm in the middle of it, but fear is good. The more you love something, the more you'll fear it, because you know that it can hurt you. People don't quit their jobs because they're scared of them. People quit their jobs because they're bored of them. You lose the fear, you lose the love. Fear is an ally and an indicator of what we have to keep doing in life. I want to close by making sure you understand just how valuable your work is here at Seacret. You're not just helping someone's skin look better. You're not just moving the economy forward or even getting a paycheck for yourself, which is all well and good, of course. It's actually even bigger than that. Because every time that you pull out that magnet and you blow someone's mind when you take the mask off, I've seen this, by the way. It's unbelievable. Okay, every time when that happens, you're changing the world. Because that small percentage on every product that you sell gives someone around the world an opportunity that will impact real people for generations to come. People like Olani and Oluto and thousands more. The world doesn't need more rock stars, celebrities, and media moguls doubling as humanitarians. What the world needs are ordinary people, inspired and empowered to confront the most pressing challenges of our time. It's tempting, of course, though, to wish for the heroes of our history. Tubman, Lincoln, Wilberforce, Gandhi, Mandela, King. Yet it is us who are called to these troubling times. It is us who have been called for today. Because we are the ones that we have been waiting for. Thank you.